saying this was a move to get them better in the postseason. This is one of the great phonies in all of pro sports.
How dare you?
Absolute giant fraud. A guy that does not care about winning at a high level. That I firmly believe. His victories, for a lot of these owners, the measuring contest is the bottom line, the profit margin. And that is absolutely what gets Jerry off. He does not get off at winning football games at a high level, does not. He gets off on the attention and making boatloads of money. And to present this as doing it because it's going to make them better in the postseason is one of the great lies in pro sports. That's my opening take on this. Do you guys have a thought before I go on? Because I have more.
Yeah, look, I've mentioned it a couple of times this week, the off-air show and even here for a minute. You watch this Cowboys documentary on Netflix, and it's a reminder. You cannot argue that Jerry Jones is maybe the most important owner in the history of the league when it comes to marketing the league, making it as profitable as possible, and the fact it's all up in our faces 365 days a year. That said, the reason this team's been a disaster for the last 3 decades is that he remains the GM. He's got to be out as the general manager of this team, or they're just going to keep spinning their wheels. Like this thing.
Well, Jimmy, on this one, I'm just going to jump in. Whether Jerry Jones was the GM or just the owner, this is an ownership decision. Even if he had a GM underneath him, this is a call that the owner makes. All owners would make this. Go ahead.
Well, the phony part of this is for him to say this makes us better. It doesn't make them better. No, like they're not gonna be able to rush the passer this year at all. Like, so that's a crock. If he sat there yesterday though and said, "Look, I realize we're not going to be that good, and so I'm kicking the can down the road, and we're getting some future picks, and it's kind of part of a rebuild," I would respect that because that's more truth. But what he said yesterday is a crock.
It's a lie. It's a lie. And you know what? He's got to go. He's got to go. He's not running the team in the best interests of, what I would say the Dallas Cowboys. He's running the team in the best interests of Jerry Jones. This was personal. He got him in a spitting match with Micah Parsons over the contract, and he couldn't look past it and get the deal done. It's all about him. It's always been about him. He's got to go. Dallas isn't going to win. And, I mean, a lot of people felt that during ever since Jimmy Johnson left. But I'll say now that he's at the stage of life he's at, they're not going to win with him calling the shots. Not going to happen. They got to get rid of him.
He kept talking about, and he's not wrong, the Cowboys get run on, and they got run on in these postseason games. When they lost to the Packers a couple of years ago, the Packers ran it right down their Schmenzer all game long. And when you get behind in games and the other team's going to run the ball to control the ball and run clock, you have to be able to stop the run. Parsons is less effective there. All that is true. But, Mazz, let me ask you something. If Dallas and Jerry Jones really wanted to stop the run and be the best they could be, what would they do?
I don't know. Go get a big fat nose tackle and spit him.
And put him next to Parsons.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Stick him in the middle of the line. Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Why do you have to lose Micah Parsons to gain Kenny Clark or someone like him? And Clark's a nice player, but you can find, if you want to stop the run, you get a bunch of big guys. Get them elsewhere. Why did you have to lose Micah Parsons, one of the premier defensive players in football, to stop the run? That's stupid, and it's a lie. It's a lie.
Totally, 100%. And again, they're the most valuable franchise in the league. They are valued at $13 billion. I looked this up last night on the way home. He paid $140 million for the team in 1989. $13 billion. And he wouldn't pay this guy, and now he's lying as to why he traded him.
So, here's the truth. It was money, and Jerry's a great businessman, and Jerry Jones absolutely won this trade. Absolutely won it. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Micah Parsons has been on their team for however long. They still haven't won they haven't won a playoff game in how long? He hasn't really affected their bottom line. He's a brilliant player, but they still go to the playoffs and lose if they even go to the playoffs. Micah Parsons' Packers contract was $136 million guaranteed, $120 guaranteed at signing, $62 million in the first year. Okay? You know what Kenny Clark makes in real money this year? $1 million. $1 million. He makes 1.3 with a base salary, and then there's a roster bonus. I don't know if it's been paid yet or not. That would be $1 extra million. So it's somewhere between 1.3 and $2.3 million. Jerry Jones just saved himself $60 million.
That's right.
All he cares about. Kenny Clark's salary does jump next year. He's got about a $9 million base salary and $11 million roster bonus. So he's going to make over $20 million next year as a 31-year-old heavy-set interior defensive lineman. What do you think the Cowboys are going to do with him at that point?
Cut.
Bye. See you. Bye-bye. Jerry's not going to pick up that money. A cheap old prick. He's our cheapest owner. He's, you can, pile on the Crafts or the Browns or whoever you want. Jerry's the worst. But he carries himself as this, swashbuckling Texas cowboy. Like, you think he's like a big spending idiot.
Don't forget Swordsman.
He's just the opposite. All he cares about, Murray, is chicks making money and making headlines.
That's right.
That's all he cares about.
What's wrong with that?
He doesn't care about football game. He didn't care about winning. And this, the crap that he was spinning yesterday. Holy crap. How about number 2? Go ahead, Kev. Number 2.
In our judgment, this gives us a better chance to be a better team than we have been the last several years since Micah's been here. Not any negative on Micah, but we're trying to get better. We're trying to stop the run and stay in the hunt.
Why couldn't you keep Micah Parsons and add run-stuffing players and do both?
You could.
That's
Of course you could. Of course you could.
cost
Yeah,
money.
I love also how he says we determined or we decided it. No, there was no we here. This was I. I decided, however he phrased that. It was him.
Okay, so he won the trade, I think, though, if you're just talking about a value standpoint. 2 first-round picks, Kenny Clark, you save all that money. And I think that I, as a Packer fan, I told you yesterday, I feel the same way. I don't love it. And it worries me a little bit. Maz, those teams that have that singular high-paid pass rusher, aren't you often frustrated by them? And doesn't the whole thing sort of revolve around them? And it's like, you go into a game and he's your guy, and the other team double teams him and he doesn't get any sacks. And you come out of the game and you're saying, well, where was Micah Parsons? Where was Joey Bosa? Where was TJ Watt? Where was Myles Garrett in this game? Well, the opponent took him out. You can take anybody out if you want to take him out. And then everybody goes to the guy after the game. Where were you? You had no sacks. You had no pressures. Where were you? And then he pipes off. And now it all sort of like is this thing about this one guy, the one pass rusher. I don't know. And now he's gotten totally paid. And the Packers don't really have much else that you have to account for. So teams are going to load up on him. He's going to get stymied. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to pipe off. And it's like, and never mind, this is a hamstring strain waiting to happen. He's been lounging around for a month. Is he going to play to open the season? I hope not. I wouldn't play him week 1. I'd give him a couple weeks. But even still, he's going to come back. He's going to want to try and prove himself, show that he's worth the money. He's going to strain a hamstring coming around the edge, and now he's out for 8 weeks. He's going to come back. He's not going to be the same guy. Oh, all that money you spent on Micah Parsons. Where's Micah Parsons? And it all revolves around the one guy. And then he's going to do a podcast because he's super vocal, right? I got word that everyone in Dallas dislikes him. No, he's not a well-liked guy because he just runs his mouth constantly. So now he starts running his mouth. And it's like, well, we don't have anyone on the other side, and like, can't you just see all that happening?
Of course, look, it can always go bad. But so I just want to clarify something, though. When you say pass rusher, you mean pure pass rusher, not defensive lineman.
Right. So it's like the pure pass rusher guy.
Okay, because I was just going to give you Aaron Donald or Jalen Carter or like those guys are instrumental pieces of championship teams.
I mean,
guys who
But they're
don't
tackles.
You do other things though.
Yeah, but they're tackles. They're more like defensive
They're
tackles.
disruptive, and this is what Parsons is. And I get it. This is just your nature. You have to look at the negative and things, but this is your team. And how about this for symmetry? I think you should feel good about this. When the Packers got Reggie White, 27 years old. When the Packers went and got Charles Woodson for Aaron Rodgers, 27 years old. Micah Parsons, 26 going on 27. Symmetry there, Mike. You should be excited about this.
I don't hate it, but I'm telling you, I do have a lot of reservations about it. And I do feel this way about that singular defensive player. And I said it 2 weeks ago.
You're talking about the pure pass rusher.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to take out Micah Parsons, you can take out Micah Parsons. And teams will. He's also playing on grass instead of AstroTurf. Does that take away some of his explosiveness? that has me worried. I'm excited. I'll
sounds it.
watch, but I listen. People think that I just do it because I'm not a Patriots fan. I talk about the Patriots the way I do because I'm not a Patriot. It's not true. And I believe me. If the Packers got McLaurin, I'd do the Green Bay cheese fest. I'd whip it out. I'd whip out the curd cheese right in your face. Okay, I'd be really excited. The defensive player, I told you, I have trepidation.
Yeah, if I was what I'd be nervous about is that dead-eyed quarterback of yours throwing off his back foot all the time. That's what would have me concerned.
This is one thing that I'm actually kind of looking forward to, Murray. I think is a plus. I hope Micah Parsons wakes up Jordan Love. Not that you know or care, but just 10 seconds here. Jordan Love is super stoic. And a lot of people wondered, where's the pulse? Where's the fire? Where's the competitiveness, the outward shows of competitiveness? He doesn't talk on the sidelines. He doesn't get to the sidelines and go up and down the bench talking to the offensive lineman or getting in the face of his receiver. He's just not that guy. He goes there and sort of just like, I don't know what the hell he's doing. And Micah Parsons is kind of an a-hole. And I hope Micah Parsons goes in there and wakes up Jordan Love. That would be a nice little side benefit.
I will say just quickly, because you piqued my interest. He's only played 16 games in his career on grass. 16. He's got 12 and a half sacks. So his sack rate on grass is not terribly different than turf, but it's a little lower.
I could have helped him with that.
How so?
On grass.
Yeah. Got it. Good one, Murray.
Yeah, we got to get it. We got to get him some Murray. What's the one that's more of an upper?
That's sativa, man.
Yeah, we got to get him some sativa.
But this phony Jerry Jones, you got to be kidding me. Spends 45 minutes last night. Tell him how they're better now because they can stop the run. You could have stopped the run, you big phony, and still kept Micah Parsons.